All right, Steeler Nation, let's get it started. Steel Jedi here. Trade alert. We traded Antonio Brown, our first round pick next year, and Artie Burns to the Oakland Raiders for their 24th overall pick. We then trade our 6th, 6th, and 7th round, Justin Hunter, Darius Haywood-Bay, and Cody Sensabaugh to move back up into the 5th round. So our draft picks looked as this: 1 1, 2 3, 4 5. And with our first pick in the first round, we pick Mack Wilson, inside linebacker, Alabama. I don't care what nobody say. We need to get over this nostalgia that we don't draft Alabama players. If Alabama is putting out the cream of the crop, why not go get some of that cream? Everybody else is doing it, and everybody else is winning. So enough said about that. With our second pick in the first round, we draft Kevin Harmon, 6'3" wide receiver out of North Carolina State. Why? Because we just traded AB. So now with Harmon, Juju, Washington, and Switzer, we have one of the most deadliest 4 wide receiver sets in the league. With our third round pick, we draft Zach Gentry, tight end, Michigan, 6'8", 265-pound, lethal red zone threat, and on top of that, he can block. Give us that seam stretching tight end opposite of Vance Donald. So even if he stays healthy or goes down, we have a backup plan. Duh. With the fourth round pick, we select Sutton Smith, outside linebacker, NIU, I believe. Why? We need pass rushers. Backup insurance policy for Bud Dupree. Bud's good. He's decent. But if we had another TJ Watt on the other side, imagine the havoc and the damage that we can do. And with the fifth round, look, I forgot what I put on that one, to be honest with you. Oh, here's one better. With the fifth and last pick for our 2019 draft, who do we pick up? Jamal Peters, cornerback, Mississippi State. Why? Inside linebacker and cornerback has been our 2 weakest spots on the defense. Yes, we got Cameron Sutton. Yes, we got Brian Allen. But guess what? Joe Hayden won't play forever. So now you have a void. So we draft one cornerback this year that will actually be on the opposite side where Burns used to be. He's no longer with us. Hayden's playing on the other side. So now one of the 3 cornerbacks that we have left can learn behind Hayden. And then once Hayden moves on or retires, guess what? We implement one of the 3 that's left behind. So whether that be Aurier and Peters, Aurier and Sutton, Aurier and Allen, Allen and Sutton, Aurier and Sutton, Sutton and Peters, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We're going to have 2 starting cornerbacks with 2 damn good backups in case they go down or get sick or get hurt. Okay, so enough playing. We're not out here to get quarterbacks. We're not out here to get prima donnas, left guards, left tackles, right tackles. Put some of these people we have on the practice squad to work. Find out what they're made of. Why do we keep holding on to trash? Sensabaugh, Hunter, Haywood-Bay. Oh, because we're loyal. Tom Brady has taken no Burkhead people caught critical passes that helped them win the Super Bowl. Edelman torched the Rams. Hogan. Who the hell is Hogan? Last year, he was catching touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. He might have done a little something this year, but it was basically Edelman first, Burkhead whenever he could get in where he fit in, and Tom Brady. That's who won the Super Bowl. So I don't care what nobody say. Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because guess what? Hogan, Edelman, Aguilar, all of the receivers on the Eagles and the Patriots can say that Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, or Julio Jones can't say. We got rings. So if AB, Julio, and DeAndre are rated as the top 3 wide receivers in the league, why don't their franchise have Super Bowls to legitimize that? I understand what Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin have said for the years. We don't go into a Super Bowl drafting on position of need. We draft best player available. Okay, I got it. But where's that got you? Really? So it's your first pick in the NFL draft, and you know you need an inside linebacker. You know you need a cornerback. But the cornerback and the inside linebacker that you wanted in the first round is gone. They're gone. So now you're left with second round talent. So instead of you drafting a second round talent in the first round because that's the position of need that we need, you draft a number 1 rated water boy or equipment manager. Why? Because you drafted them for their need. And what do they need? To attend the equipment and make sure our players are hydrated. Neither one of them are going to go out there and man the middle or hawk down the best wide receiver on the opposing team. They're not going to do that. I feel that Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin should hold true to 50% of what they've said in the past. And they need to change it. And this needs to be the amendment to their change. We will not go into the draft looking for the best player available. We will go into the draft looking to address the positions of our needs. After we have addressed our needs, then we will address the best player available at whatever other position. What good does it do to draft a punter with your first pick because that's the best player available at their position, but you totally go on and ignore your inside linebacker and your cornerback position? And if you look way down the line, you ignore your tight end position. So you totally bypass your inside linebacker, cornerback, and tight end position because the players you wanted to get with those picks in your prospective rounds are now gone. So now you go out and you draft another defensive end. Unless we're going to a 4-3, what are you going to do with Tuitt? What are you going to do with Hayward? You draft this new young buck defensive end, you got to tell one of them to sit down. Or you tell Javon Hargrave to sit down in the middle and put him in the middle. So now you got 3 defensive ends on the three-line front. It's about time that we pull our head out of our ass. We address the positions of need. If it's our first pick in the first round and we need an inside linebacker or a cornerback, and all the cornerbacks and inside linebackers we covet is gone by that point, and we still need a position of tight end, then draft the best damn tight end left on the board with the first pick. Don't go old lineman or D tackle. Go tight. We need cornerback, inside linebacker, tight end. So if all of your tight ends are gone, all of your cornerbacks are gone, but there's a damn good inside linebacker left on the board like Mack Wilson, draft him. Vice versa. If inside linebackers are all gone, tight ends are all gone, but there's a cornerback on Byron Murphy, DeAndre Baker, whoever, draft them. But out of the first three positions that we need the most on this team, cornerback, inside linebacker, tight end, you can't tell me all of the tight ends, all of the inside linebackers, and all of the cornerbacks that we've coveted, all two, just say you had two people picked out for cornerback, two people for inside linebacker, and two people for tight end. You can't tell me all six of those players are gone by the time it gets to us. So why are we drafting the water boy? And last but not least, and I'll say this and I'll get out of here. I'm not saying copycat New England, but yeah, copycat New England. It's a discipline thing. When it's time to go to training camp, I don't give a rat's ass how rich you are. You will not be allowed to land in the middle of the practice field in a helicopter, get out of a damn Maybach in a $40,000 full length mink coat. You won't do no. Everybody gets on the same bus. Everybody goes to the same practice facility, and everybody gets off at the same time. It's called humility. And if you don't want to play ball, then cut them. You're playing a sport of privilege. There's doctors and lawyers out here in the world that don't make in a year what you make in 2 or 3 games. But you have the audacity to sit there and say, me. Really? Try go working at McDonald's for 2 weeks and have them give you a paycheck for $850. And you got to support your family on that. But because you have an athletic God-given, it ain't nothing that you did. It was given to you by God, the Almighty Creator. And people are willing to pay you this money for it. You have the audacity to turn your nose up at society and say, because you don't wear mink coats and drive Maybachs and Mercedes and Bentleys, you're beneath me. Because just like God gave it to you, He can take it away. Trust me, He can. So Tomlin needs to get a hold of the locker room, the culture, what he will and will not permit and allow. We need to draft for a position of need first. Think about it, Steeler Nation. If we need an inside linebacker and we go through this whole draft and draft every other position but inside linebacker, because the linebacker we wanted or coveted wasn't there when we wanted to pick, guess what's still going to be the focal point of our need this year coming? Inside linebacker. We need to amend what Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin is preaching. We need to draft for position of need first, and then once we address those needs, anything else after that is a position of best player available, not the other way around. Because drafting for best player available, if we need an inside linebacker, but best players available when we pick all the time is O linemen and D linemen and water boys and equipment managers, guess what? We never get a chance to draft for that position of need. So guess what still becomes a position of need next year? That position of need. This is still forever. One nation, one steel.